Yo, what's up guys? We're back for another UFC breakdown and predictions video, and this week it's for UFC 286. It's another great card by the UFC. It's going to be Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman 3. We're going to see the conclusion of that trilogy, who walks away with the welterweight belt. And you got to really relish these cards recently, man. The UFC's been putting on some fire cards, and you know inevitably they're going to go back to a few of these fight night cards that aren't the greatest, so you definitely have to be happy and intrigued in these cards that we got recently and gonna have on Saturday. And yeah, man, besides that, you already know I got 10 bets on the line for UFC 286 already. I like this card from a betting perspective. The last time we had a lot of bets on a UFC card, we came away with a winning night, and we're gonna bounce back from last week. Last week was the second bad week we had on betting side from UFC predictions or UFC bets this year for me, and gonna bounce back from that. But yeah, besides that, if you want to get access to that, it's at patreon.com/MMA Prediction Guru. This week there's also going to be an Invicta on Wednesday. If you guys want an Invicta video, put down in the comments. If I get 3 comments asking for the Invicta FC 52 breakdown and predictions video, I will put it out there. But there's Invicta card, KSW card, and that UFC card. So there's definitely some stuff going on outside of the UFC as well that I'm going to be breaking down on the Patreon. But let's get into this first fight of the night here. Veronica Macedo taking on Juliana Miller. And for Veronica, she's had an interesting UFC career to say the least. She entered the company at 21 years old, and right away she got thrown in with top 15 competition. She had a ton of confidence, and you could see it in her first couple of matchups. She had a lot of swagger, but it seemed like after she got pushed a little too fast and she was 0-3, there was definitely some confidence issues, but she didn't manage to get a win. I mean, she submitted Polyana Viana, and that was a big upset. That was in August of 2019. Only fought once since then. That was in March of 2020, so it's going to be over 3 years since Veronica Hardy has competed in martial arts, and she lost her last fight to Bea Malecki, so 1-4 in 5 UFC fights, but I don't know. I guess UFC likes what they see in her. They're giving her one more shot here. And she's still kind of been connected with the sport. She got married to Dan Hardy, and she's been doing a lot of stuff with the Full Reptile channel and commentating for Aries FC. So clearly she loves the sport and she stayed around it. So hopefully she comes back and looks better. Last fight, she fought at 135 and looked like she was out of shape. So now she's coming back down to 125, and hopefully she's fit, she's sharp. She's only 27, so she still could come back and have a fruitful career if she can regain that old form. She's training at the MMA Factory, so her striking is going to be on point, you know that. And she's always been athletic, dangerous, and skillful, so it's just about putting it all together and being prepared and sharp. But for Juliana Miller, she's looking to continue to build after winning the Ultimate Fighter. She debuted last August, and she buzzsawed through Brogan Walker, finished her in the 3rd round, and won that Ultimate Fighter title. And she finished 2 of the 3 fighters that she did fight on the Ultimate Fighter run. And at 26 years old, she's young, she's getting better. She trains at one of the best gyms for females in the world in Team Hurricane Awesome, and she's extremely tough. And in contrast to Macedo, who's had some trouble with mentality at times, missing weight, coming out of shape, and not dealing maybe with adversity in fights the best, Miller's extremely strong-willed. She comes in awesome shape. She deals with adversity really well in the fights, and skill-wise, Veronica Macedo is probably better by far on the feet, but the dog and Juliana Miller usually makes up for that in a lot of her fights, actually. But stylistically, it's a great matchup for Juliana Miller, in my opinion. She has the length, the grappling, and cardio edge, and she just perseveres through adversity better. Miller may have some trouble early in the fight trying to close the distance. I could see Veronica Macedo utilizing that bladed stance and throwing a lot of fast kicks and some counter crosses, using that evasiveness early. But unless Macedo has improved her gas tank, then I just don't see her being able to pot shot and stick and move to victory. Up until now, though, really Macedo has been kind of like a first round or bust type of fighter. Her win against Viana was a first round armbar, and she tends to slow down majorly, get real sloppy. And if there's anything you could say about Juliana Miller, she's going to push the pace, keep coming. Her striking isn't the greatest, but she has good pressure durability. She has length. She's improved her hands, decent kicks from the outside. And she's really just trying to back you up to get it in the clinch and take you down. And both these girls are good grapplers, but Miller's just much more tenacious. She's more offensive with her wrestling. She doesn't have great wrestling, but she'll clinch you. She wears on you, and she's getting better with her entries and finishes. And on top, she's nasty, puts a lot of pressure, throws a lot of ground and pound, and she has a good submission game, and she has an endless gas tank. So overall, she's a nightmare if she can get momentum. And Veronica Macedo, she has okay takedown defense, but not the best. And off her back, she is dangerous. She'll look for sweeps, arm bars, and she's mean. I mean, she'll crank on the arm and try to break it if she can, and she really fights with an edge. But sometimes you'll see her pull guard and attack submissions to her detriment. And she got submitted against Jillian Robertson. She got finished with ground and pound against Ashley Evans Smith. And the most, egregious error in Macedo's game has been her cardio. She tends to start fights strong and then tail off, like I said. So I just feel like skill-wise, Macedo is probably superior on the ground. She has the skills to compete also. But I just don't think she's going to keep that pace. And Miller's a fighter who can come out the fire. She has great cardio, and I see Miller struggling, getting lit up a little bit early, but staying tough, and then finishing the fight in the second or third round on the ground by submission or TKO. So I'm going to go with Juliana Miller by submission in round 2 as the official pick here.